What's good, YouTube? It's that time of year where we go through the list of movies I've seen in 2022 and rank my top 10. So, starting off with number 10, I have Wakanda Forever. I thought all the stuff that they had to overcome with this movie, I think they did a really good job. I found myself enjoying the movie quite a bit, and like I said, I give them credit for having to, overcome what they had to. I think they were able to pay really good respect and everything with the movie, and I definitely would recommend seeing this one. Moving on to number 9, we have Bullet Train. What a fast and wild ride this movie was. Brad Pitt killing it, and honestly, we need a Tangerine and Lemon spin-off, because them two, I could just, listen to their dialogue back and forth the whole movie. It was so fun. So definitely enjoyed this one. I would recommend it. Moving on to number 8, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Nick Cage is starring as Nick Cage, of course. This is a Nick Cage love letter, basically. I mean, if you've seen all the movies of Nick Cage, then you'll get a kick out of this one, because you'll probably just be able to spot so many Easter eggs or things like that. It was a really good movie, honestly. But I will say, if you're a Nick Cage fan, I think you would just enjoy this movie, because it was very original. It's not a movie you would see too often. If you go to the theaters, it doesn't have a cookie cutter type formula. It's very kind of all over the place, kind of keeps you guessing what's going on and everything like that. And I really enjoyed the little family message they have in the end. I think it's just an overall enjoyable movie, so that's why it makes my list. Moving on to number 7. This one was a pretty big surprise for me, because I had no knowledge of this movie when it came out. So I went ahead, went and seen it, and I was very shocked by it, because it was a movie that I would say, I don't know if it's original or not, but to me it was original, because I hadn't seen a movie like this. It just keeps you guessing. You just don't know what's going on. And the performance by the main guy, I can't really pronounce his name, but he does really well. Anna Joy Taylor does really good as well. Also, she's phenomenal. I mean, in anything she does at this point. So, I think I would recommend this, especially if you're like if you work in the food industry or something like that. I think you get a kick out of this movie. Moving on to number 6, we have Nope from Jordan Peele. I honestly was anticipating this movie when I first heard about it, because Jordan Peele so far, I think he's hit it out of the park with both of his movies. I know Us was very divisive and everything, but I still think he did a very good job constructing that movie and everything. So when he came out with the poster of Nope, and it was very much looking like it was going to be alien oriented or extraterrestrial, I was hooked, because I really wanted to see his take on aliens and everything. So, and he did not disappoint. He even subverted my expectation, because I'm not going to go into spoilers with my top 10 list, but the way that he goes about explaining his take on aliens or and UFOs and everything, I thought it was just so good, because I had never thought of that concept. That's honestly why it makes my list. It was just so good, and just having such a small cast, but Kiki and Daniel, I think they were great. I mean, you could tell their brother-sister dynamic was just really good. On to number 5, we have Sonic 2. I've seen a lot of hate for this movie. I don't know why. Not many people enjoyed this one for as much as the first one, but to me, honestly, I found myself enjoying it. I think all the way through. There was really no dull moments in my opinion. I loved it. I think Idris Elba playing Knuckles, I think that the voice was so good, especially for a fish out of water type person, because that's kind of what he was in certain scenarios and everything. He kind of had no idea what stuff was and had to be explained and whatnot. So I thought it was really good. I think Tails and everything like that, I thought it was cute having him and his plane and all that whatnot. And then even the end with Robotnik and Sonic, and the Emerald and all that, I thought that was incredible. I thought it was a really powerful thing and everything like that, and seeing Sonic do that transformation and whatnot, it was awesome. I think this would be a really good movie to take your kids and everything for sure. Moving on to number 4, we have Glass Onion. I really enjoyed this because it's anything that's like Clue. That's my thing. I mean, when I can watch a movie and I have to constantly think about like who did this, what happened, when I have to constantly use my brain watching a movie, those are the kind I really enjoy. I just love those kind of movies. It's my thing. So when a movie like that, I see it come out, like Knives Out, love the hell out of it because it was almost like a updated like Clue, almost. And also, I think they did a really good job with like changing it up. Like it wasn't similar at all, this wasn't a family. They weren't in a house really. They were on an island. The idea of I guess the idea of who did it and everything like that. I love the twists and turns it had. Just an overall like use your brain type movie, and I love it. Number 3 is actually my number 1 most anticipated movie of the year. It was The Batman. This one I really enjoyed. It's definitely a movie that it's a long movie, of course. It was really well done. I mean, I've been wanting a grounded Batman, or at least the most grounded type Batman since Christian Bale's. So the fact that this one can bring us the closest to that, I just really loved it. Really enjoy it. I hope with everything going on in Warner Bros. That this universe sticks around because looking forward to seeing more of this universe if we can, especially if we get like a Mr. Freeze type, deal. So we'll see what happens. My number 2 movie on the list is going to end up being Avatar: The Way of Water. I didn't know if this was going to end up being my number 1 or not, and I didn't want to just make it my number 1 based on, how long we've waited or, just the CGI and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to base it all just strictly on how much I enjoyed it, and I gotta say I did end up walking away enjoying this movie more so than probably I could have thought, just because it was an experience. Definitely needed to see it in 3D in the theaters. I couldn't imagine missing it this time around because I did miss the first one. Just too young to appreciate or really understand going to the movies and seeing something like that. So I was really, really blown away by just how well it did look. It's hard to kind of walk away thinking that a lot of what you're seeing is not like National Geographic or like the Our Planet documentaries that they show on Netflix or anything like that, where they go around and showing footage of Earth, but it's almost like that was a whole nother planet and you were just there and you're just going through learning how this whole other tribe or this whole other just how the world works. I will say that the story is simple, which a lot of people complain about, but I will defend the idea that a movie like this, I think you keep the story simple, that way people can enjoy just how well it looks, and then I'd imagine we will build towards maybe more complex story, hopefully. We'll see. I really loved it. I went and seen it twice, so I recommend it, and it makes my number 2 movie. And finally, my number 1 movie of 2022 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. This movie flat out beats any movie I've seen this year. I loved it. It was the biggest surprise that a movie that I've seen. It just drew the most emotion of any movie that I personally have seen this year. I think it dealt with a concept that I am very much interested in, and I think they dealt with it in such a simplistic but creative type way that you were able to follow it and take you on this ride. Really commend the people who were able to pull all this off, because it was a very small amount of people that worked on this, and what they were able to do is it's incredible. I think they'll deserve way more awards than they're gonna get. I think the performances by everybody were just top notch. I think everybody who played their characters were just great. I think I loved every single bit of it. All of the amount of all the little effort that they went into to make certain just scenes, even if they would just be a split second scene, I think just the fact that they went into that much like detail of doing something, and then, like I said, having a story that was very cohesive and very simple yet complex like concept, and make it very easy to follow. I loved it. I loved it. I couldn't recommend a movie more than this one. I think it's also something that just anybody, anybody, anywhere can enjoy, because it just can pull from any type of area, and you can just be into it. I loved it. That's going to go ahead and do it for my top 10 movies of 2022. Let me know down below if you had any of mine on your list. Let me know down below what your top 10 list is. I would love to see what everybody else's was. There's a lot of movies I probably didn't see that may have made the list if I had seen them, but out of all the movies that I had seen, these are my top 10 for the year. I'm really looking forward to the next year and the year after. So many good movies coming out, so really looking forward to that. If you enjoyed my reaction, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to see more, I have my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2023 coming out soon. So if you want to see that, subscribe, and I'll have more stuff coming as well. And that will be all. I will see you guys in 2023. Until then, take it easy.